In this episode, we're going to build a custom Dodge Charger for a friend.
Collections. Classics. Customs. Restorations. This is Crossroads Speed Shop.
Well, welcome back to the Crossroads Diecast Speed Shop. I'm Skip, and today we're outside the shop and we're waiting for our next project to come. I think I hear the truck coming, so let's see if the guys show up. Here we are. They picked up a 2013 Dodge Charger police car. What I'm going to use as a project to build a replica of my friend's real-life Dodge Charger, and we're going to turn it into that and see if we can get it real close. So let's get in the shop and see what we got.
A few moments later.
Well, here we are again in the shop. We have gotten our build all taken apart. The guys were able to find this sheriff's car. I don't know if they picked it up at an auction or not, but they were able to find this sheriff car for a build. It's one I want to do for a friend of mine who has a Dodge Charger that's very similar to this, except it's not silver or anything like that or with police livery, but he does have one, and I want to build him a car that was kind of similar to commemorate his Dodge Charger that he has. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Again, the police, sheriff, whatever livery here. It's the Brazos County sheriff's car. It's in really good condition, so I don't think it's going to be much we're going to have to do. You can see I've already drilled and tapped out the posts, but it's looking pretty good here. Of course, we'll be putting it in the stripper and giving it a different paint job to match the one my friend has. Base, not a whole lot there. A little bit of exhaust and stuff. We might do something with that. The interior, I don't know if I'm going to do too much with it because I think that kind of goes with the interior that he already has. And of course, we got the smoked windshield. And we will change out the wheels from these Matchbox 6 spokes. We're going to change the wheels out for something from Samed wheels. I want him to have some real nice wheels on this car that we're making for him. Well, let's get moving on with our project. Well, before I get too far into my build and taking the car, after I get the car taken apart and before I start putting in the stripper and start doing things or paint jobs or anything, I always like to select my wheels and get those kind of set up in the right place because it's a lot easier. And so what I've done is I've taken these nice Samed 5 spokes. They look really nice. They look very similar to the 5-spoke rims that my friend has on his. And this looks like it's really nice. One of the nice things about this car is the interior also helps to hold the wheels down a little bit. So it's looking really nice on there. So I think those are going to work out really well for this car. So let's get the car into the stripper. Okay, we got our Dodge Charger all painted up with nice red. We detailed around the windows and also the front headlights. All right, well, we've been working on this Dodge Charger that I'm doing for a friend of mine. And again, his was red, and I painted this one red. But when it came to doing the taillights, it's kind of hard because you got red. Everything's red, you know, and it's kind of hard to make things kind of stick out. How are you going to make that, you know, emphasize that? Especially because on the Dodge Chargers, they have a long light bar, or whatever you want to call it, on the taillights. It's not just there in the corner. So I got thinking about it. I said, I'm going to try something different. I hadn't tried this before. I've done decals before, and I've shown you that on this channel. But what I did this time instead was I went on and I found a picture of the Dodge Charger and the rear end of it. I took the images and I printed them on some clear decal paper. Now, when you print these out with using an inkjet printer like I do, one of the things to do is make sure you set your printer settings for gloss paper. Also use high quality ink. Don't use your standard quality, but use high, because that gives you a little bit sharper image. And then so I did that. And after I got them printed off, I went and I took some Krylon triple glaze high gloss clear, and I gave a couple mist coats, and I gave about 8 minutes in between each of the mist coats. and then I took and did a heavier saturation coat. That seals in all the ink, keeps it from running, especially when you put it in the water to get the decal paper to slide off. And again, so what I did is I took some scissors and I just trimmed up a little bit closer because I only wanted the red and the black. I wanted that black ring. I didn't want that silver or anything like that. But when I cropped it, the best I could do with cropping it from the internet was to leave just a little bit of that silver, but I knew I could cut it off with either my X-Acto knife or with my scissors. And I took some scissors and I was able to get that all cleaned out. And so when I put it on the rear end, at least it defines it a little bit. You can see here it defines the taillights a little bit better, even though everything's still kind of red. At least that black kind of helps out a little bit for there. So I think that's going to look really nice. Let's move on.
Later.
All right, well, I've been working on my Dodge Charger again, and as I've been doing that, of course, it was a loose casting that I had picked up, so I ended up cleaning up the base using some hot soap and water, and then I gave it a little bit of flitz to kind of smooth out, and then I took it and gave it a dip in the Pledge Revive, and that came out pretty nice. I think I'm pretty happy with that. The base, I picked these tires up, these 5 spokes that I picked up, and it looks pretty good. And along with that, I painted the base, which was originally gray, and I painted it black with some rattle can satin black paint. And I didn't mount the wheels into the car. They just sit right in there in those little notches, partly because inside the body and then also on the bottom of the interior, there are little notches that hold the wheels down, and I just wanted to leave it so the wheels could have a little bit of flex and stuff in it there. Another thing that happened to me on this base, I don't know what happened here, but somehow when I was painting it, I was using the alligator clips to hold it in. Somehow this cracked and broke, so I ended up taking some of the JB Super Weld, and I glued that piece back in, and then just using the ultraviolet light onto the glue, I took care of it because that should help to hold it in. Well, let's move on. All right, well, here we are. We got our Dodge Charger build all together, all the pieces ready. Again, cleaned up the windshield here. It looks pretty good. Of course, it was a used casting, so I had to do a little bit of cleaning up with soap and water. Didn't do much with the interior because the interior is that's the same color as his. Got those 5 spokes from Sam Ed wheels. I did the body, clear coated it, did the black because he has the black around the door frame, and then of course the decal for the back end. I think that came out really good to do that back tail light the way it was. So it's looking pretty good. So let's get this thing together.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here's my custom Dodge Charger. It started out as a Matchbox Sheriff car. I customized it to look similar to a friend of mine's Charger. He's a real car guy, and I think he's going to like this. After painting it red, I then detailed the lights and the side windows. And I also tried my hand at something new. I tried making a taillight decal for the back to accentuate the taillights. I'm really happy how that came out. Then I clear coated all of it with 2 coats of 2K clear from Diecast Graveyard. I'm really looking forward to giving this to him. I've even made a custom card and protector case for him, similar to this one. And I had a lot of fun doing this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. God bless, and again, thanks for stopping by the shop.